Welcome folks to Let's Play Ultima Underworld, the Stygian Abyss, made in 1992 by Blue Sky Productions, which later became Looking Glass, and published by Origin Systems in 1992, predating the Elder Scrolls Arena by 2 whole years. If I've ever said in a Let's Play that Ultima 7 was my first exposure to the Ultima series, I owe you an apology, because this was actually my first exposure to the Ultima series. The one that is quite decidedly non-canon. It's surprising I went from this game and decided that I wanted to play the original ones, considering how different they are. Compared to the mostly top-down role-playing game experiences that the standard Ultima series is, Ultima Underworld is actually a first-person role-playing game, and in some ways rather non-linear. You can, in theory, access almost everywhere in the game without progressing on various plot points. It's a little difficult, but you can do it. Of course, you do need to actually go through the plot to finish the game. We all know what I'm like with Ultima series and going on a non-linear path. 500 parts later, you will actually figure out what you need to do. It wasn't 500 in my case, but it was a lot. So, Ultima Underworld is actually surprisingly non-canon in various people's minds. There are a lot of things in it that are not in the Ultima world otherwise, and as you saw the introduction there, it needs some explaining, and I have a theory of my own that I will divulge with you. In Ultima 1, now this is a history lesson if you start with in Ultima 1, in Ultima 1 and Calibeth, the villain was a man called Mundane, a quite evil wizard who was the son of a king Wolfgang in Sosaria, which is what Britannia used to be called in Ultima 0 to 3. And he was a bit obsessed with power and immortality, living forever. And there was a very powerful magical gem of the darkest black of colour, called the Gem of Immortality, coined so because of his obsession with living forever. Now, the Avatar kills Mundane in Ultima 1, and the gem shatters into many, many pieces. Now, in the actual series, 3 of the gems play an important part later. They are 3 pieces that you become, effectively, the Shadow Lords that Lord Blackthorn has on his side in Ultima 5. The Shadow Lords encompassing the opposite of the 3 principles. The principles being truth, love, and courage, and the Shadow Lords encompassing deceit, hatred, and cowardice. If you actually went to towns while one of them was there, their actual power would spread and alter people's opinions of you. Now, in Ultima Online, as I recall, the video cutscene showed the Avatar looking into the many, many shards of the gem and seeing that in each shard there was a tiny world of its own, a self-contained version of Britannia, as you will. That's where the idea in Ultima Online of shards comes from. Now, I always like to think that you're being communicated to in a dream in this game, and this dream is a very atypical way of getting to Britannia. Most of the time, the Avatar came through moon gates to come see you, and in the case of Ultima 7, at the end he gets trapped and can't get there through a moon gate. Now, pulling someone out from a dream is certainly a potluck affair. You might not even get the right person. In this case, the mysterious, haggard old man managed to actually get an avatar, but not the avatar that I played in other games. No, that man was not actually summoned. It was a different avatar from a different shard, which would explain why people are a little confused about if you're the Avatar, because you don't look like the Avatar, and they only know one Avatar. It is true for the quest of the Avatar that it's not limited to just one person. If somebody else took the quest for the Avatar and succeeded, they too would be an Avatar, but only the Avatar ever really succeeded. So, they pulled a different Avatar through. In Ultima Underworld 2, it takes place between 7 and Serpentile, but it's still a bit iffy in the canon. There are other things in this game that draw the canon into question, and I'll be bringing those up when they arrive. For now, we're just going to go with the fact that for some reason there's going to be a guard standing outside the entrance to the Stygian Abyss forever, and we went by horse, one of two theories there. Either that's the longest boat journey and one poor guard is standing outside the Stygian Abyss alone with a horse, because the Stygian Abyss is actually on an island, I think, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, or the Baron has foolishly actually made his town and settlement on the island with the Stygian Abyss, which would be really stupid. Imagine what would happen, say, if it erupted. That would be tragic. So, let's make a character, shall we? You may be wondering, that was a cut in the video there, and there's a journey onward rather than introduction, create character, and acknowledgements. What's happened here? Well, I made my character, and I looked at it and realised there was something a bit awry. The main thing I realised is that, as a paladin, the game didn't give me any magic ability whatsoever at the start. I had a whole 2 mana at the beginning, and 2 mana at the beginning is pretty rubbish. You can't cast any spells with 2 mana. I think 3 is the absolute minimum that the game will let you cast spells with, and those are level 1 spells. We want a lot more spell power than that. So I'm going to make my character, and we're going to make them a bit differently. Firstly, the first 2 choices in the game have absolutely no bearing on anything except personal preference. And this character is going to be female, and because the game actually gives me a choice on if she'll be right or left-handed, which isn't that common these days. Think about it, think about the last game that gave you that option. I'm going to pick left-handed. Now, fighters do exactly what they say on the tin. They fight things really well. No casting abilities whatsoever. Mage, cast spells very well. No real fighting capabilities whatsoever. Bards, very good at appraising, bartering, making deals, not so useful in this game. Tinkers, very good at repairing. Some use, but equipment is relatively plentiful in the Underworld, ironically, and there are people that will repair items for you. Then there's the Paladin, who I wanted to make. And you think to yourself, oh, that's really good. 17 strength, 19 dex, 24 int. Except strength determines your encumbrance. And that's not very good there. Like, 17 strength, you want high strength. And those skills, appraise, charm, acrobat, repair, even though you get the option afterwards for another ability afterwards, a melee weapon one, or missile, you can use missile weapons, I don't like that. Like, not starting with the ability to cast magic is a bit of a detriment for me. So, we go back, and we pick these bits again. Now, Ranger, if we all remember Ultima Ascension, is pretty good at everything. If we picked Ranger, you get 23, 17, 34. You get a lot of skills to pick from. You can do it again, and it's kind of a mixture. You also get Track as standard, which... and Shepherds, who can pick all kinds of skills. Like, you can pick Sword, and then you can pick all these, like Casting and Mana, and you could be a Shepherd. You pick Mana, you pick Casting. You actually get 3 skills to choose from, so you sort of pick and choose what you like. Which is a thing. You have a weapon skill, you have a casting ability. You lose the raw stats and you gain variety. But I'm going to pick a Druid, probably, because Druids start with casting and with mana, and with ridiculously high strength! 28! That's amazing! 19 intelligence, that's fine, because you have casting and mana to help you. Attack 12, defense 9. You don't need a weapon skill if you have 28 strength. You may not be fully skilled at the abilities of war and, like, weapon knowledge, but you're just gonna slash so hard that things will just die through brute death. We will be improving a skill eventually, specifically Sword. We like Sword. Now, out of Track, Lore, and Search, I'm actually going to pick... both are useful. but I'm going to pick Search at this point. And I picked a male character, by mistake. Whoops! All that and I picked a male character. And we're back to 18 strength. I think I gave up my only good roll in the entire game there. No, 28! That's good. 28 strength, 12, actually higher intelligence. There we go. Search. There we go, we're going to pick one of these 5 icons there. That one has an eye patch. That's pretty cool. However, we're going to pick the top one. Standard or easy difficulty? We're going standard. And I even have a name. Shana. I don't know why, but Shana kind of just struck a chord with me. Also, our search skill is absolutely terrible, at 3. Oh well, that'll improve with time.